Greetings. Welcome to Widow's Peak with your hosts, Dana and Stephanie.
Hi, Stephanie.
Hi, Dana.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year's. How's it going?
It's going good.
We're good.
Stephanie, I got you. Do you have me?
I got you. Let's do this.
Awesome. Well, welcome to 2022.
Yes, 2022.
Oh, wow. I'm excited. Are you?
I'm excited.
A lot of things to look forward to?
Yes, most definitely.
Really? Wow. So I think New Year's bring what? New beginnings?
Yes, new beginnings.
We're evolving still.
Yes.
We're enhancing the things that we started last year.
Most definitely.
And so with all of that comes excitement, but also a little fear.
I was just going to say, I was a little scary about some things, but
Right.
New beginnings can always be good.
Right. Because we're moving on. But it doesn't mean that we're leaving things behind, right?
No, I don't think it means that we're leaving things behind. We're pushing forward to learning and adapting to this new life without our spouse. But I think also we're doing new beginnings for ourselves.
New beginnings for ourselves. Wow. So what type of new beginnings are you looking forward to doing?
I'm really trying to refocus a little bit more on self-care like we talked about once before. I want to do a little more healthy eating. With this pandemic, I'm trying to come up with ways to exercise, and just make things a little bit better and a little bit easier for me.
Yeah.
And yourself?
I'm actually doing similar things. So we have always, and I think I touched on it a little bit before, I teased it, but we have these things that we have always, topics that we've always considered when we were entering a new year.
Okay.
And so Z, my spouse, for those who don't know, or my
deceased spouse. Yes.
When we first met, he would always have these goals that he would set for the new year.
Okay.
And as we dated and then later married, he kind of gave them to me like, I think this is really good for you to start like goal setting and things like that. And we did that individually, and then we did it for family.
Okay.
Right? And so, I just gave this to my girls the other day of what those things are, and I'll share them with you because that's kind of what I said. Okay, when we start talking about the new year, new beginning, these are things. So it's what are your goals for the year, for this year? What will you accomplish this year?
Okay.
What books do you need to read this year?
I like the need to read. I like
need
that.
to read. And, he was an avid reader.
Right.
Hence the big library behind you with all the books. And then what new adventures, food, or skill will you tackle this year?
Okay.
Fifth is, how will you be of service to others this year?
That's a good one.
Via volunteer, create nonprofit, charity. And last, how does all the above align to your overall purpose?
Wow. Those are good.
Those are good.
Yes.
And so those are the six goals that we considered in the new year.
Okay.
You had a question?
Yeah, I was going to ask you, so are you going to consider those 6 this year? Or are you going to add, or are you going to subtract? What?
It's become a habit.
Okay.
It's become a habit for me. And I sent those to my daughters, my 2 daughters, and my granddaughter.
Okay.
And they go, oh, we remember this, right? And so now that they're old enough to be able to set those goals themselves, and really think about it. It's not for them to do a check-in with me, but for themselves.
Right.
And so every year I consider those 6 things.
Okay.
And as you see, adventure and food is on there, and health, of course, is always on there.
Right.
So one of my new beginnings is to exercise regularly.
Okay.
I did start last year going to the gym on a on a daily basis, like at least 3 times a week.
Okay.
But I also invested in a Peloton bike.
Okay, and how's that going?
That's going really good. Schedule my classes in, and I get my rides in, and also yoga, meditation, strength training. All of those things are included in the package.
Okay.
Not that I'm plugging Peloton, but Peloton, if you want to be a sponsor.
Right.
But yeah, so looking at those things, eating healthy.
Okay.
Yes. Continuing to eat and make that my lifestyle.
Right.
And but also looking at new skills. I started doing cricket last year, so I'm a little crazy about the cricket.
Me too.
You are my mentor.
Okay.
But so doing those things. How about you?
Well, about the same. As far as like I was saying, the eating healthier. One of the things I had mentioned to you was that my daughter doesn't eat chicken. So I am really working on cutting it out totally too. Every now and then she might, but most of the time she doesn't eat chicken at all. So that is one of the goals that I want to do. I actually like to be a vegetarian. I think. I think now.
How about okay.
Yeah, pescatarian.
Isn't that the one?
Girl, I don't want to be on here saying it wrong because last time we said it wrong. So the one where you eat the fish. The shrimp.
Yeah.
That was so funny, girl.
I can't give up my seafood, but okay.
Right. So I'm just working on, like I say, basically just eating healthier. Because I already started, but I just want to move a little bit more closer to that. For longevity.
Right.
Longevity. Right.
Yeah. So I understand. I'm doing the same thing. I think, we have to be better individuals.
Yes.
So that we can be good for our family.
Right.
Long term.
Right.
And going forward. And then that whole adventure thing.
Okay.
I really want to continue to do new things.
Okay.
Like, just experiencing new things that I may have avoided before.
Okay, but
maybe fear.
Experiencing new things alone?
Experiencing new things alone.
That's a challenge. Well, I'm not going to say a challenge, but that's different within itself. Because remember, we had our spouses. So now you're talking about doing it,
alone.
Basically maybe alone versus with someone else. So how do you feel about that?
I'm up for it. I'm
Okay.
up for it.
Okay.
Growing independently and continuing to grow was always big for us.
Okay.
Just because, and for those listening too, I don't know, where they are with it, but just because you are married does not mean that you can't have those individual...
Don't lose your identity.
Those individual interests.
Yes.
That, and don't fake it and
Right.
pretend that you're interested in something because your spouse is.
Right.
I mean, let them experience it, by themselves. Hiking and things like that.
Okay.
I liked it, but I didn't really prefer being out there in the wilderness with spiders, snakes, bears, tigers, oh my, But there was times where, my spouse would like to get out there and hike and mountain bike and things like that. And I was okay with him going alone.
Okay. Okay.
So just like myself, those things that that I might be interested in because it was on my bucket list doesn't necessarily mean it was on his.
Right.
So I'm good with being able to experience those things. Travel by myself, as we talked about before, is different.
Yes.
But being adventurous and learning new skills is... I'm okay with doing that by myself.
Okay.
How about you?
I guess I would say I'm okay. I guess I would say I'm good. It's just that finding the time. So that's one of the things I guess I would say for my new beginning would be taking the time for me and taking the time to do those new things that I want to do or like to do, or maybe just want to try and see what it's about. Because with the time and so used to with family, you focus on family so much. So now I'm trying to refocus or regroup or say new beginnings or evolve where I can take the time to do some of the things that I might want to do. Or might want to try, So I think I'm good with it.
Now, don't be like these people creating these New Year's resolutions and they fail. Let me give you some statistics. Let me give you some facts here.
Okay.
So I was reading about New Year's resolutions as we were preparing for this podcast, and it says that 22% of resolutions that are made at the beginning of the year often fail the first week.
Okay.
22%.
Yeah.
Then it drops to, it increases to 40%. 40% of the resolutions fail after a month. 50% will fail after the first 3 months. And 60% of resolutions fail after 6 months.
Right.
So how will you keep your momentum?
Remember,
or do you consider it a resolution?
I don't consider it a resolution. That's why I remember I was speaking on that with you. I don't consider it a resolution. I just consider it as pushing forward, doing things that I had already started, continue to do it. And if I miss it, it's okay. Keep going. Because I think when people focus on so much of it being this resolution, I got to get done.
Yeah.
There's so much pressure on it that they lose it. And I can see why the statistics are so high. So, yeah. I think
and then they feel probably like they've defeated, like they failed.
Right.
And then they can't jump back on that horse. So, how do you keep your momentum? Of evolving, of enhancing where you were and just continuing.
Conversation with you and others, but continue to remind myself that, okay, look, you said you was going to do this, let's do this, or set, look, sometimes I do little sticky notes, to remind myself what I said I was going to do, and praying and asking God to guide me, Lord, okay, I need to do this, help me to get this done, or help me to get this accomplished. So that's kind of how I keep it.
And what I do, I look back at those six things, the six, I guess, goals, right? That we created, or I create for myself. And so since number 6, which I love, it aligns to your purpose, right? Yes. So always moving or doing something towards my purpose in that goal. So looking back, writing it out, like you said, or putting it on my board, which is usually up on my board. But I took it down for the purpose of this recording. But being able to look at what is my overall purpose and how what I'm doing on a daily basis aligns to that.
Right.
And just doing like check-ins with myself or accountability.
Yes, accountability.
Partners. And you and I have kind of become accountability partners. And then I have accountability partners when it comes to the different businesses that I'm doing and checking in. That helps me maintain that momentum throughout the year.
Okay.
My kids are constant reminders sometimes of like, hey, are you working on this? Or when will this be ready? And that helps me because I never want to never want to look like a failure in front of my kids. And since I'm always telling them, like, you can do something, you can reach this goal, it's achievable, I want them to see me reach those goals and achieve those things. Agree. So it's a little pressure, but it's diamonds, right? Comes from pressure.
Yes, it does. But I think I don't want to say failure because you didn't accomplish that at that moment. Because I think that once again, we're talking about new beginnings and setting goals. When those goals are not set at that particular time, that does not mean that goal cannot be accomplished.
That's true.
So if your child or your daughter will say, okay, well, Mom, you said you were going to do this. Right. Mom didn't get it done at that particular time, but Mom's still getting it
I'm getting it done.
See?
Yeah.
So take the little pressure.
Sometimes you have to prioritize.
Yes,
sometimes you have to reassess and prioritize.
Yes,
things.
reassess. Yes.
And what helps also is by having it written down.